Hello and greetings to all you fans of RPGs and of Dungeons & Dragons. In this video, I will be giving you a walkthrough and DM's guide of the Alkazaar's Appendix D&D Adventure. On behalf of RPGmodsFan, I will be narrating most of this video. The Alkazaar's Appendix is the 16th adventure in the Candlekeep Mysteries anthology book. This 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons adventure was written by Adam Lee. His adventure is meant for 15th level player characters. According to the 36th issue of Dragon Plus Virtual Magazine, Adam Lee is a big Egyptology nerd. And that, he wanted his adventure set in the desert of Anorok, where the fallen empire of ancient Netheril lies under its sweeping sands. Influences on his adventure included Indiana Jones and the Iron Giant. Adam adds that he would use his adventure to kickstart a wider Netheril campaign. The Alkazaar's Appendix book is just that, an appendix to Alkazaar's Thrilling Tales book. Alkazaar was a renowned explorer and adventurer. He is the Forgotten Realms version of Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Battuta from our own world. Both books are brought to the player character's attention. Alkazaar's Thrilling Tales book weaves tales of Alkazaar's adventures and heroics. However, the Alkazaar's Appendix contains the intriguing story of Alkazaar's last, yet unfinished quest. Adventurers who read the story learn the following. Alkazaar was searching for an ancient artifact. In his search, in the Anorok desert, he came across a wandering stone golem, known as the Sapphire Sentinel. En route to a place that potentially had further clues, a fierce sandstorm struck, separating him from his camels and his guides. From that point forward, Alkazaar gave up on his expedition, returned to his homeland, and retired. The adventurers learn other details, but I should let your dungeon master provide those details. In other words, I am crossing into spoilers territory. Also in the appendix are a number of illustrations. One of those illustrations opens a portal to the Anorok desert. So, adventurers, are you willing to step into the portal and finish the one quest Alkazaar was unable to? From this point forward, this video will be discussing the adventure itself, and it will contain spoilers. Unless you are a dungeon master who will be running this adventure for their players, or a player who already played through this adventure and are watching this video for nostalgia purposes, I would suggest not to watch the rest of this video. The adventure's synopsis would be as follows. A book chronicles an unsolved mystery about a wandering stone golem in the desert of Anorok. The golem is part of a larger mystery that unfolds as the characters explore Anorok, ending with the discovery of a necropolis buried in the sand. I would summarize the adventure as follows. A renowned explorer, named Alkazaar, had completed many quests, but it is time for the adventurers to finish the one he never could. The book contains a magic picture that opens a portal to the Anorok desert, to where an inactive golem, the legendary Sapphire Sentinel, rests. The golem wishes to be reunited with its Netherese master. Alkazaar hoped that helping the golem find its master, in turn, would lead to the discovery of an ancient nether scroll. This adventure is, at its core, an escort mission. Conveniently, there is a Bedine tribe nearby. By referencing the Alkazaar's Appendix book, the adventurers are able to activate the golem. From the Bedine, the adventurers learn of the Hall of Rainbows, which is a cave complex carved out by a purple worm. After tackling with the purple worm, the player characters learn of the existence of a nether scroll, and discover clues that lead to the ruined city of Azumar. The adventurers navigate the ruins, and find where the golem's master rests. However, the golem's master is sealed in an eternal sleep with the nether scroll, in order to keep at bay a powerful evil dragon. However, the once adult blue dragon is now a Dracolich, and can wait for eternity as well, to obtain the nether scroll. The battle with the Dracolich is the final showdown of the adventure. Afterwards, do the player characters allow the golem to join its master, and take him off to Elysium, which then means the nether scroll is lost? Or do they attempt to retrieve the nether scroll, which will then age and kill the ancient mage? The Sapphire Sentinel is the only dynamic character in the adventure. The rest are static and tied to their locations. Ages ago, when the Empire was still standing, the Wizards of Netherall constructed the Sapphire Sentinel stone golem for the Netherall wizard and prince, Hamakai. The wizards gave the golem a sapphire heart, and magically bound a sliver from the gem to the right palm of its master, Hamakai. Both were charged with the mission of guarding a nether scroll. Nether scrolls can impart groundbreaking knowledge about magic. Knowledge that is often considered dangerous. The sapphires allowed both Hamakai and the golem, whether together or separate, to unlock a magically sealed vault that held the nether scroll. The vault is under a mastaba, within the prince's city of Azumar. The prince and his golem were attacked by a blue dragon, named Zixokrishka. The blue dragon blasted the golem with eldritch magic, that hurled it to a far corner of Faerun. Thinking his golem was destroyed, Hamakai put up a magical shield around the vault containing the scroll, that could be opened only by the sapphire's power, that is both within him and the golem. Weakened by the battle, and before retreating, Zixokrishka invoked a powerful curse. In order to outlive Zixokrishka and her curse, Hamakai was placed in a deep, near-death-like sleep, that could last for thousands of years. One additional note: if the golem is obliterated, for some reason, its sapphire heart will be left behind. Zixokrishka is the villain of the adventure. She was a female adult blue dragon. She sought the nether scroll and the knowledge it contained. When she lost her initial battle with Hamakai and his golem, she returned with an army that devastated the wizard prince's city of Azumar. However, she was unable to breach Hamukai's shield around the vault. Zixokrishka is willing to wait an eternity to outlast Hamukai's shield spell. So, with aid from the cult of the dragon, she had herself transformed into a Dracolich. I will now go through the adventure's timeline of events. My apologies, in advance. I will be repeating some things I have already mentioned, when I discussed Hamakai, the Sapphire Sentinel, and Zixokrishka. Netherall was a very ancient, magocratic, and powerful human empire of Faerun. The Wizards of Netherall created a magnificent stone golem, to guard one of the Nether Scrolls. The Nether Scrolls are a collection of works, that describes the creation of magic, and the fundamental nature of the weave of magic. Each reading, and rereading, imparts new and additional knowledge and information. The wizards charged the young wizard prince, Hamakai, and the golem, with guarding the dangerous scroll. The sapphires within him allowed both Hamakai and the golem to unlock a magically sealed vault that held the nether scroll. A blue dragon, named Zixokrishka, discovered the scroll's location, and flew to the vault. In the ensuing battle, the golem gravely wounded Zixokrishka, but she blasted the golem with eldritch magic, that damaged its memory, and hurled it to a far corner of Faerun. Thinking his golem destroyed, Hamakai put a shield around the vault, that can be opened only by the sapphire's power. Too weak to continue the fight, Zixokrishka limped away to heal her wounds. However, as she left, she incanted a powerful Netherese curse, which was, when the prince died, the shield would disappear, and the scroll would be hers for the taking. Hamakai knew of Zixokrishka's curse. So, in the vault containing the nether scroll, the wizard prince was magically kept on the brink of death, and this magic was supposed to last thousands of years, and long after the blue dragon's natural lifespan would expire. Zixokrishka returned with an army, and reduced the prince's city of Azumar to ruin, but found Hamukai's shield around the vault impenetrable. The blue dragon then sought and achieved transformation into a Dracolich. Zixokrishka is now willing to wait an eternity to outlast the spell that holds Hamakai near death. At its height, the Netherall Empire had many floating cities in the air. Then the Empire and its floating cities all came crashing down, due to the folly of one of its archmages trying to achieve godhood. In turn, creating the Anorok Desert, which also consumed under its sands, the now ruined city of Azumar. More than a century ago, Alkazaar was a renowned explorer and adventurer. He bequeathed his Alkazaar's Thrilling Tales and Alkazaar's Appendix books to Candlekeep. The Alkazaar's Appendix contains the intriguing story of Alkazaar's one unfinished fetch quest for the Nether Scrolls. The adventure proposes two different starts to it. One start is where the Avowed of Candlekeep bring Alkazaar's Appendix to the adventurers, and ask them to complete Alkazaar's unfinished quest, and, perhaps, procure for the library the fabled Nether Scroll that Alkazaar believed the golem once guarded. The other start, which also happens in Candlekeep, is where the Little One, who is an ogre that wears a headband of intellect, approaches the adventurers, and asks them to complete Alkazaar's unfinished quest. Adventurers who read the story of the lost golem, in Alkazaar's Appendix, learn the following facts about the one quest Alkazaar could not complete. Alkazaar was searching for a Nether Scroll. This was to be his last adventure, before retiring. In the Anorok Desert, he came across a wandering stone golem. Alkazaar believed this golem was the legendary Sapphire Sentinel, rumored to have been created by Netherese wizards, to protect one of the fabled Nether Scrolls, and under the control of Prince Hamakai. The golem recognized its master's name, Hamakai, when Alkazaar mentioned it. From that point on, the golem followed him, obeying his commands. The golem communicated through sign language, and it seemed lost and sad. Alkazaar met Badine nomads, who said they knew of a place that held clues about the golem, but it was in Purple Worm territory. He followed the Badine guides until a sandstorm obscured the route. The camels ran off, and after losing his guides and his transportation, Alkazaar called an end to the expedition. Before he left the desert, Alkazaar inscribed a magical tracer on the golem in the hope that he could find it again. He begs the reader to go to Anorok, and find the lost golem, which might lead to the discovery of a Nether Scroll. On the final page of the story, cryptic symbols surround an illustration of the golem. If deciphered, this code reveals the magic words to activate the picture portal. To me, this is too much information, and leaves no mystery for the player characters to solve. The only mystery left is, who is the villain of the adventure? Anyway, back to the timeline. The adventurers then activate the picture portal, and are teleported to Anorok. Half buried in the sands, the adventurers see the Sapphire Sentinel, along with two Badine tribesmen, named Pesh and Shamir. The Badine are desert nomads, who roam and eke out an existence in the Anorok Desert. Shamir knows some of the story of Hamakai and his stone golem, which he can relate to the adventurers. When the adventurers speak Hamukai's name, the golem will awaken. It understands Common, but is unable to speak. It communicates with gestures from its hands and body. Shamir says that more details of Hamukai's story can be found in the Haun Cave complex. He offers to guide the party there, but warns of the purple worm that is inside of the cave complex. As the party is traversing the desert, should the dungeon master wish, or if your players are itching for combat, the DM can throw in one, or more, of 3 wandering monsters encounters, which are as follows. The adventurers can encounter 3 cyclopses, who are bickering at each other, while looking for food. They have Badine prisoners tied up in their lair, which is a cavernous crack inside a granite escarpment that juts out from the sands. And/or, the party can encounter 2 Rakshases, who are masquerading as Badine nomads named Amura and Sikit. They offer to guide the party to a magical oasis. The Rakshases will attack the characters, as soon as they let down their guard. As a last encounter, the adventurers can find a stone Androsphinx, who poses a riddle to the party, before allowing them to pass by. The party then reach and explore the Haun Cave complex. Within it, is a chamber with 6 murals, that illustrates the tale of Hamakai, the Blue Dragon, and the Nether Scroll. These stone murals were carved by survivors, who escaped Azuma's destruction. At the bottom corner of the last mural, is a map, showing the way to the ruined city of Azuma. And, of course, at the dungeon master's choosing, the party will be attacked by a purple worm. On the outskirts of Azuma, the player characters can encounter Ogrul, who is a very old dragon turtle. Ages ago, Ogrul was bound by magical chains, by a cruel Netheril wizard. Sustaining the dragon turtle, and living on its shell, are Che Wingers. Che Wingers make their monster debut to D&D in this adventure. Should the adventurers wish, they can free Ogrul from his magical bondage. If they do, and their fight with the Dracolich is going poorly, then the DM can have Ogrul come to the rescue, and join in on the fight. Lying in wait, within a mastaba, is the Dracolich, along with its undead minions. Hamakai and the Nether Scroll lie in a vault under the mastaba. After defeating the Dracolich, the next thing for the adventurers to do is open and enter Hamukai's vault. What they do next is left up to them. Unless prevented, the golem goes to be reunited with its master, and complete its mission to deliver Hamukai's body and the Nether Scroll to Elysium. Unfortunately, defeating Zixokrishka does not spell the end of her. For she hid her phylactery deep within the Scimitar Spires, a mountain range to the east of the necropolis of Azumar. The author left this part of adventure up to the dungeon master to create and develop. I will now walk through the adventure's various maps. If you were to ask me, where in the Anorok Desert does the adventure take place in? As my answer, I would say, somewhere just west of the Scimitar Spires. Displayed on the screen is the cave complex of Haun. Actually, the adventure provides only a partial map. As the adventurers explore this place, every so often they will feel a rumbling, which is caused by the passage of a purple worm moving below the surface. Area number H3 contains 6 murals that depict the story of the prince, the golem, the battle with the blue dragon, and the vault containing the Nether Scroll. These murals were carved by the survivors of Azuma's destruction. At the dungeon master's choosing, the party will be attacked by a purple worm. This attack can take place, anywhere, and anytime, within the cave complex. Displayed on the screen, is the map of the ruined city of Azumar, which is labeled as Necropolis. As the party approaches the ruined city, you can have them encounter Ogrul, the chained dragon turtle, along with the Che Wingers. At the center of the necropolis, is a mastaba. Hamakai and the Nether Scroll are within the vault lying underneath the mastaba. The party can encounter 3 flame skulls, floating around the ruins. These were Netherall wizards and loyal subjects of Prince Hamakai. They were tasked by the Dracolich to guard the necropolis. However, because of their former loyalty to Hamakai, they can be persuaded to help the party. Zixokrishka created a deadly magical sandstorm around the mastaba to keep intruders out. The Sapphire Sentinel's Dispel magic ability can open a tunnel through Zixokrishka's sandstorm, leading directly to the mastaba. Displayed is a color map of the mastaba that I found on the internet. 3 giant scorpions and 4 whites hide under the sand at each end of the mastaba, ready to attack anyone who climbs the nearest steps. Lying dormant, in chamber number V2, is a storm giant skeleton. It will join in on the fight. Hanging across its back is a horn of blasting, which, due to its undead nature, cannot use the horn. In chamber number V3, is the Dracolich, Zixokrishka, herself. However, to me, it does not make sense for her to be here. To me, it makes more sense to have the Dracolich outside, and on top of the mastaba, where it can use its full powers, instead of inside a confined space. I would move the storm giant skeleton, and a few of the whites, into this chamber, instead. Yes, I admit, this would be a poor final boss battle. However, this is a contingency measure, in case the party, somehow, manage to stealthily enter the mastaba, and reach this chamber. Noise from a battle here can alert the Dracolich, which would then head to this chamber. Anyway, among the Dracolich's treasure hoard are a spell scroll of wish, a wand of polymorph, a staff of withering, and a +2 longbow. At the far end of the chamber is a magically sealed door. The only way to get past the door is through the use of the golem's sapphire. The golem can be instructed to open the door. Paintings along the walls of the downward sloping corridors, labeled V4, depict the prince's life. As player characters get closer to Chamber V5, the paintings depict more recent events, including the character's journey from Candlekeep, their first contact with the golem, their adventures across Anorok, their exploration of Haun, and their encounter with Zixokrishka. The final painting is of the characters standing before the prince's tomb, rendered in perfect detail. Chamber number V5 is the vault itself. Inside a closed sarcophagus is the still body of Hamakai. The chamber's west wall has a portal to Elysium. At this point, the golem waits for its next command from the player characters. As a DM, I would have it communicate that it wants to take the sarcophagus. If they allow it to, the golem will push the closed sarcophagus through the portal and exit with it. If the player characters open the sarcophagus, Prince Hamakai turns to dust. Also inside is the Nether Scroll, and a number of very valuable items, such as a platinum death mask, worth 5,000 gold pieces. Likewise, the golem will also turn to dust. The player characters can use the Wish spell scroll to revive the prince. Whether Hamakai is sent to Elysium, or is turned to dust, the Alkazaar's Appendix adventure does not truly end. Zixokrishka hid her phylactery deep within the scimitar spires. Within 24 hours, she will rematerialize there. She will relentlessly seek vengeance on the player characters, whether or not they have the Nether Scroll. According to the 36th issue of Dragon Plus Virtual Magazine, the adventure's author, Adam Lee, states, quote, "There is nothing worse than working hard to kill a villain, and having it return." Unquote. Yet, in this adventure, he adds such a villain. A Dracolich cannot be destroyed, until its phylactery is destroyed. Yet, he places the phylactery directly outside of the adventure. I think this adventure has potential, and is an exciting adventure. However, it seems out of place in the Candlekeep Mysteries book. After the player characters read Alkazaar's Appendix, there really is no mystery left for them to solve. If you wish to run this adventure more as a mystery adventure, then keep the Nether Scroll a secret. Keep the background of the Netheril Empire, Hamakai, and his golem, a secret. That way, most of the adventure's mysteries would be revealed by the murals in the Haun cave complex. If you have any ideas on how to make this adventure even better, please share them in the comments below. Thank you for watching, from all of us at the RPGmodsFan channel. Hope this video has been informative and entertaining. Please subscribe, like, share and comment. We do like feedback. Till next time, we wish you well. Cheers, have a good day, and goodbye.
Whispered promises straight to my heart. I'd never noticed, but you were never there, you were never there. Hey, you gave me roses, set me apart. All I feel was bliss, but you were never there, you were never there. I want us to be what we used to be this night. Baby, just another fight, but you don't wanna see me cry. There is no way that it's never going there. I think it better and I swear I'll follow you no matter where. Think it better and I swear follow you no matter where. Think it better and I swear follow you no matter where. Down in empty streets, looking for joy. I don't wanna admit I'm better on my own, better on my own. You say we're not meant for each other. I'm not sure of this. I won't give up on this, I won't give up. Cause I don't wanna be hate. Like the one to flee, like the one to leave. I never surrender, but ever remember my lover. Did you give up on me? Have you never learned to listen? Sorry, I will never be, even if you're the one you wanna see. Think it better go someplace I don't know, cause I got your picture on my mind. I want us to be what we used to be this it's not. Maybe just another fight, but you don't wanna see me cry. There is no way that it's never going there. I think you better run, I swear. I'll follow you no matter where.